Hmm. Good afternoon, everyone. We're just going to wait a couple minutes to allow folks some time to join, get settled.
Awesome. We have a few more joining us. Welcome, Adam, Allison, Dorothy, Ricky. Wait about 2 more minutes before we officially begin. Awesome. A couple more. Looks like Aviva, DB, welcome. Victoria, welcome. Give it 1 more minute before we begin. Awesome. Numbers keep climbing up. All right, clock has struck 12:03, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Welcome, everyone. We want to thank you for your time today, especially joining us on your lunch hour. We are here to discuss launching your staff career at University of Maryland College Park. My name is Amy Swartz, and I am the Assistant Director within University Human Resources, leading both the classification and compensation team and the talent acquisition team. Today's session, I will be representing the talent acquisition team. And then I am joined by my colleague.
Hi, everyone. I'm Michelle Pickens. I am the talent sourcer on the UHR talent acquisition team. Thanks for being here today.
All right. So before we really start to give you information about, how we can support you all as alumni, potentially looking at opportunities here at University of Maryland College Park, we wanted to just give you a little bit of a backstory about our team and the services that we offer campus. So our team is relatively new. We were created in July of 2023. We were originally established to provide support to hiring managers who were struggling to fill positions across campus. We support staff positions only, so no faculty, GA, or student roles, but staff roles. So we help with a variety of services from sourcing of candidates to marketing positions to full cycle recruiting, such as writing interview questions, interviewing candidates, and extending offers of employment. Our services are, and we'll talk about it a little bit more, but to just highlight here, our services continue right now to be consultative, optional, and customizable. So our services continue to expand across campus. When we first started, as I mentioned, we were offering the support to our hiring managers, but we're excited that now we get to actually support candidates across campus who are interested in perhaps promotional opportunities, looking to perhaps enter a different field. And so we're now offering career preparatory services for candidates who are interested in staff opportunities. So that's staff employees interested in staff opportunities, or even candidates who, like we've recently had faculty members interested in staff, or C1 and C2 employees interested in staff opportunities. So we help employees in those statuses as well. And so we'll talk to you about what that looks like in a little bit. Um, so for today, though, what you're going to hopefully get out of our webinar is we're hopefully going to understand just how the staff hiring works here at UMD. It is a little bit unique. So we're hoping that you'll get some inside scoop and have a better understanding of what to expect. We're going to help you understand where to find the career opportunities. We're going to hopefully help you understand how to strengthen your applications and help you understand how our team can support you as a candidate.
So first off, we're going to chat a little bit about why consider a staff career at UMD. Other than returning to your alma mater, there are some great perks of being a TERP here as a staff member. So you are part of mission-driven work here. You have an impact not only on the students at UMD, but also the surrounding community. The benefits and work-life balance at UMD are a huge plus, and that really trickles down into the culture that we have at UMD. There's a lot of career mobility and growth that we're committed to. And there's a lot of different pathways that you can take once you are a staff member here at the university. And then returning to your alma mater in a new way. We always love to see Terps return and share their knowledge with, the future Terps going out into the world. So, what staff roles are available on campus? So, at the University of Maryland College Park, we have over 10,000 full-time and part-time staff members. So, there's a lot of different opportunities that we have here. Staff members are non-faculty employees who support all of the university operations. So, I wanted to break that down because sometimes there can be some discrepancy over what is staff, what is faculty. So, hopefully, that clarifies a bit. So, a conversation with the talent acquisition team, so with one of us, that can really help you narrow down what your focus is in those 10,000 different areas on campus. We can help you identify what the ideal role is, different departments, and what would just make the most sense for your skill set. So, how does UMD support career growth? We have a lot of opportunities to support career growth throughout the duration of your employment here. We have career paths in place that support a lot of transparency and accessibility of what upward mobility looks like. So we definitely have that support ingrained not only through our team, but through each of the departments as well, making sure that you are seeing that success and longevity once you join the institution. And then UHR Talent Acquisition offers one-on-one career coaching. So it's a free service that we have for all UMD staff members. This includes resume reviews, interview preparation, job matching, and it's completely confidential service that is offered by our team. So if you are in a role here and you're looking to interview for a promotion or interview for a different team, those are areas where we're able to help make sure that you're prepared, make sure that you're, putting your best foot forward, specifically in the UMD environment.
All right, so we're going to give you some inside scoop to help you with the hiring process, and really honestly is going to help you with some potential frustrations that other candidates may have as they're navigating trying to land an opportunity here at UMD. So one of the big things that makes UMD unique is that we operate under a decentralized structure. And so what we mean by that is we have it to where, yes, we have university human resources that does provide consultative support to the various schools, colleges, and units. But each college and unit really operates essentially as their own organization. And so with that comes their ability to make their own hiring decisions. And so instead of having to, review or hire candidates that we've authorized, or instead of us having to approve of candidates or have to review your interview documentation, they are able to fully operate on their own and make their full hiring decisions. And so what that means for you as a candidate is you may work with us for a portion of a process because we may reach out to you and say, hey, there's this opportunity that we think you may be interested in, and we would encourage you to apply. And then suddenly you don't really hear much. Or maybe you haven't heard much, but it's been 3 months and now suddenly you hear something and you're wondering, well, why did it take 3 months? Well, that's just because that unit is operating on their own. They may have a small team handling multiple recruitments, and they have chosen to handle the recruitment on their own without the assistance of talent acquisition. And that's just how their hiring process works. And so I share this with you in that because it happens at the college school department level, perhaps you submit an application and you're wondering the status of your application. And maybe you reach out to our team and we say, look, unfortunately, we don't know much other than it looks like your application's under review. We've received it. It looks like it's still active. A little tip and trick might be to reach out to the unit directly. There's typically an HR email on the school's website, and maybe say, reiterate your interest in the position, and maybe check the status of your application that way. So that's just a little tip and trick I like to share with candidates who are really vested in trying to find an opportunity here. And then again, just to reiterate, as I mentioned it earlier, that again, we support only staff positions. So we support only staff, and we are only really helping with the positions that we've been asked to support. However, we do have access to view everything. So if we are asked to help a candidate, we may help them see any opportunities available to them, but that doesn't necessarily mean that we're helping the hiring manager fill the position. So let me kind of maybe rephrase that. We are kind of an in-between. Kind of think of us as like a staffing agency who we may help a hiring manager try to fill a vacancy, and we may try to help find candidates, but we may also help only candidates try to find positions and not help the hiring manager with that particular opportunity. So we're always kind of wearing different hats throughout our processes. And Aviva, I see your hand raised. If you wouldn't mind, we're going to have questions held to the very end, but we'll make sure we come back to you if that's okay. All right, and I know there's some more kind of around this same topic. All right, so when you think of UMD, just kind of think of us as, like a city of employers. So think of us as kind of multiple organizations within one. So each department can have their own timelines, each department's communication style, or how they communicate, whether or not maybe they decide to call and send a follow-up of maybe you weren't selected, or if they send an email to say you weren't selected. It really just depends on the department or the team. Candidates are, of course, encouraged to consider multiple opportunities across campus. So, don't feel like you are unable to consider an opportunity within engineering and the College of Math and Natural Sciences. You are able to consider multiple opportunities as you see fit. And if you ever have, questions about opportunities, Michelle will be able to tell you how we can answer those a little bit later on in the presentation. And I think one more. All right, so I started to touch on this a little bit, but let's kind of talk again about like the structure of who is who. So within University Human Resources, we have our what's called our operations team. On here, we're calling it our central HR team, and they are the ones who are helping us with the workday or the applicant tracking system portion of the workday and posting our jobs. You then have our team, who's presenting today, the talent acquisition team, and we provide those consultative services to both hiring managers and the consultative resources to candidates. And then you have the actual departments who are actually filling positions. Okay. So we in the talent acquisition team will get involved with the departments who have hiring needs when they submit a request asking us to provide them support. And we provide them that support on as a free basis. It's free, it's optional, customizable. And then in addition, we provide the free consultative support to candidates who are interested in opportunities at UMD. And when we're helping a candidate, we're looking at all positions on campus, not necessarily just the positions that departments have asked our help with. I hope that makes sense. Michelle, is there anything I neglected to touch on with that?
No, I think you covered everything there.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah, that's
Thank
great.
you.
So, where do we find staff jobs at UMD? We're going to send out this slide deck at the end of the presentation. So, these are all links, so you'll be able to follow the link to each site. But wanted to highlight these three key areas where not only are jobs posted, but there are also resources for you here. So, we have our UMD Careers website. This is really the hub for UMD career support. So that is linked here. The Workday job site, this is where you're going to live and breathe all job applications, job descriptions within UMD. So this is a comprehensive, up-to-date list, all of the roles that are open across campus, and then all applications are submitted directly through the Workday site. There's also a Workday portal that you're able to log into to track the status of all of your applications, upload any additional documentation, and we'll touch on that a little bit later. And then the last resource here is our talent acquisition outreach or newsletter. So we have a talent acquisition site that has all of the resources that we offer, all of the services that we offer. We also have a weekly newsletter that you can sign up for. It's TERP Talent Insights, and there we'll talk about that a little bit more later. But we highlight different opportunities, and that will come to your inbox weekly. I'm going to share some application tips. So, in my role, I am directly chatting with candidates on a daily basis, helping them with their applications for employment here at UMD. So, I know Amy mentioned this before, but really applying to multiple roles is a huge tip that I like to share. I think a lot of times people are hesitant to apply to multiple opportunities because they're worried that hey, if they see that I'm interested in one position and then interested in this other one, does that hurt my chances? It does not hurt your chances. We encourage you to apply for as many roles as possible that align with your skills that you're interested in. Because we are a decentralized environment, it's not necessarily that one manager within engineering that for a role that you applied to is going to say, hey, this candidate's great. Let me share them with arts and humanities because they might have a position that is available. So we are in talent acquisition, the people bridging that gap. But it's not just done automatically behind the scenes. So really making sure that you're getting your application out there to multiple departments is key. Something specific to consider when you're filling out the application, updating your resume, is looking at the minimum qualifications. So these are listed on every posting. There are things like education, experience, certifications. These are the things that are required for the role. So when either our team or the hiring team is looking through applications and resumes, these are the core things that they're going to be evaluating your application on. Then there's also preferred qualifications that are listed. This is another area where these are nice to haves. So any way that you can highlight this within your resume or even your cover letter, that is always, a plus so that the hiring team can see all of the areas where you align with the position. Another tip, tailor your resume and cover letter to each role. I know that can feel like a heavy lift, especially when you're applying to multiple positions, but it really does increase your chances of, landing an interview. So I I also tell anyone applying to UMD, a lot of places don't require cover letters. We love a cover letter. So this is your time to really make that connection to UMD. Share about your experience at UMD, why you're tied to the mission of not only campus, but also that specific department. So really, instead of thinking of it as just, a general cover letter that you're uploading with every position, think of it as a way to build that connection with the hiring team. And then make sure all documents are uploaded. So in the Workday portal, you'll be able to upload your resume, your cover letter, references. If you miss uploading something, you're always able to log into Workday later and resubmit that. Another thing that I recommend to candidates is if you're having an issue submitting three separate documents, make it all one document and submit it all together. A lot of teams, they do require all three of those documents to be submitted for you to be considered for the role. So just make sure that you have those. Amy, I saw you unmuted. Do you have something to jump in with?
No, you started to cover it. So the system, the Workday system, cannot be customized to require the three different documents. So a lot of times, candidates then will bypass uploading the three documents and thinking then that maybe it isn't in fact required. But really, the majority of staff positions across campus will, in fact, want to see those three documents. So even if the system doesn't stop you, they do want to see the three documents, whether it's three separate attachments or, as Michelle mentioned, as one condensed document. Whether or not we agree with it, there are a lot of departments that do, in fact, weed candidates out who do not upload this documentation ahead of time. And then one last tidbit will be when you have our contact information at the end of the presentation, you also, if you ever get stuck with being able to upload it, you can always email us at our generic email and we can upload them on your behalf as well. Because we never want you all not considered based on just a silly tech glitch. So.
Yeah. And another tip I just thought of as you were saying that, Amy, if you're having issues uploading or with the drop down menus in there, if you try a different browser, usually that solves the problem. So just proactively want to mention that. So, what does our process look like? It's pretty straightforward, but I want to walk through it just so you have an idea of what's happening once you submit your application. It's not just, hanging out there. There are people reviewing it behind the scenes. And even if you don't hear back for a couple weeks, there is a reason why. So, the job is posted, you submit your application. There's the minimum qualifications review that's done either directly by the hiring team or by the talent acquisition team. There's the departmental review, and then we go into interviews. So that's when you potentially have a pre-screen interview with talent acquisition or with the team. Then you get to the panel interview stage. Then we go to reference checks and then offer and onboarding. So with each application and with each position, you'll see a best consideration date that is posted on the posting. So that explains what the priority review deadline is. So if you are applying for a role and say the best consideration date is March 6th, the team will likely not even start to review applications until after that best consideration date. So there might be a delay. If you are applying to a role the day after it's posted, there could be at least 2 weeks, potentially longer, of time frame before you hear back. We try and encourage departments to let candidates know if they're moving forward in the process within 2 weeks or so after that best consideration date. But timelines, like Amy said before, can really vary based on the position, based on the department. But I do like to stress the fact that most teams are not even looking at the applications till after that best consideration date. So don't get discouraged if you don't hear back right away. And then I mentioned this before, but status updates, you can find them within Workday. So anytime there's movement with the position, you'll be able to see it there. You'll be able to track all of your applications in one spot. Okay, so some more tips. I know we chatted through the required documents, but want to touch on something specifically around the references. So, they do require 3 professional references to be uploaded, but the references are not contacted until the final stage. That is a frequent question that we get, and then you will be notified before your references are contacted as well. Resume tips, tailoring your resume for each role, highlighting the minimum and preferred qualifications and where they are met. So, not just having them in the little summary blurb at the top of your resume, making sure that they're in the bullet points, you're showing where you've done these things. Highlighting transferable skills. So even if it wasn't a direct, one-to-one translation of skills, seeing where you can highlight how they transfer into this environment. And then supervisory roles. This is a big one. Detailing how many people you are supervising. There's some job titles. We've especially seen this in a lot of government resumes that are coming in where in an internal environment, it's assumed, yes, this is a supervisory role, or this is, the level that you're performing at. But for us, we don't know that. So we need it really spelled out, how many people you were supervising, how long you were doing that for, and especially for roles that do require that supervisory experience, having that mapped out will really help us and then help the hiring team, have an idea of that you do meet the qualifications for that. I see some hands raised. We are going to hold on questions until the end of the presentation. So we'll make sure to come back to that. I think Amy is going to note who's raising their hand, and we'll come back to you all. And then cover letter tips. We spoke about this before, but creating a new cover letter for each position or application. This is really important because, like I said, it is your time to connect with the hiring team. Show your connection to UMD's mission, explain why you're returning as an alumni, and then you can go even farther by demonstrating how you're aligned with the department, or the position qualifications and even the department specific mission. So you can see each department's website that has their goals, what they're working on, their mission statement a lot of the times. So being able to relate your experience and your interest back to that definitely helps give you a leg up. Just some insider tips that I wanted to share since, these are frequent things that come up with candidates. So using clear job titles and responsibilities, like I mentioned before, we are not necessarily in the know of what is happening in your internal environment in your previous role. So we need it really spelled out so that way we are not missing any qualifications that you have. Avoid any jargon or acronyms without an explanation. Make it very easy to see the qualifications quickly. So that's when it comes back to looking at those minimum preferred qualifications and then tailoring your resume. Double check that all documents are uploaded into Workday. You can always email us if you are having issues with that, and we can help you out there. And then you are able to add the missing document yourself in the attachments section. But like we said, if there are any issues, we can assist directly with that. So, how can the talent acquisition team help you? We are here to provide hiring process transparency. We share job resources with you. We can offer guidance and tips, and then we promote upcoming job opportunities. So, really, we're an extra set of eyes and ears for you on campus to let you know about positions that align with your skill sets, align with your interests, and then really make that connection so that you're able to apply, learn more about the role, and then hopefully land an interview and land a job here. All right. So staying connected, we have some ways that you can stay connected with our talent acquisition team. Our talent network, that is our internal database that we use when we're sourcing for candidates. So with that, it's a network of active job seekers who have expressed interest in working at the university. So I have a link here that you can follow. I have a QR code at the end that you'll see, but you can upload your information directly to that talent network. So you can share your resume, you can share what you're interested in. You have an option to schedule a call, a career conversations call with myself or one of my partners. And then when a new position comes across our desk and we're looking for someone in a specific skill set, we go back through the talent network, and that's where we're reaching out to you to let you know, hey, there's a position in this skill set that aligns with what you said that you're looking for. And we'll share some more information about the position, share the application process with you, answer any questions, and really just try and make that connection behind the scenes there. We also have the Terp Talent Insights weekly newsletter. So with this, you will get job alerts, hiring events, application tips from time to time, and then different featured opportunities. And that will arrive in your inbox every week. So there's one link where you can sign up for the Talent Network and Terp Talent Insights. You can pick one or the other, both. But those are the best ways to stay up to date with what the talent acquisition team is working on position wise. All right, tips specifically for alumni. So, how can you leverage your UMD experience? We love to see Terps return back to the university. Any type of campus familiarity is an asset. So, I know depending on how removed from graduating you are in your career, sometimes folks don't want to put that college campus job that they had. I always recommend if you're applying here, definitely do highlight any experience you have with UMD because it is a plus. You're connected to the mission, you have familiarity with campus, with how things work here, and that's a preferred qualification. In a lot of the roles that we have, they like to see Terps that are coming back here. So highlight that student involvement or campus jobs. It doesn't necessarily have to be a formal job that you had on campus. Any student organizations, volunteer opportunities, those are definitely things to include as well. Show how you have continued to connect to UMD's mission in other roles or why you're interested in returning to support UMD's mission. And then we always recommend networking within the campus. That's a great way just to increase your connections and hopefully open up some additional opportunities. And then the insider tip, I know I've said this like three times already, but really use that cover letter as an opportunity to make that personal connection. Any connection you can make to the department's mission and to UMD's mission is a plus. So, as part of our talent acquisition services, we provide a ton of career preparation resources. So, this will be sent out at the end of the presentation. These are all linked. So, we went through and found a list of the best resources that we recommend for our active job seekers. So we have self-assessment tools, potential path information, networking and branding, and then here we have skill development, career planning guides. So a lot of these are from LinkedIn or Indeed, different resources here, but we pulled together our UHRTA tips. So these four right here, these documents, those are the curated list of all the things that if you ask us, hey, what can I do to write a better resume? This is a brain dump of all of the things that we recommend. Same with cover letter, job interview questions, preparing for a job interview. So really, this is kind of the behind the scenes scoop on what you can do to position yourself as the best candidate here. All right. We invest in people and community. We invest in people, their well-being and advancement, and the conditions that support their ability to fully participate and thrive in our community, state, and world. We would love to have more TERP alumni back here in staff roles at the university. We are excited to support you. We're excited that you are interested in returning to UMD, and our talent acquisition team is committed to supporting you in any way we can. So thank you for being here today. That wraps up the structured part of the presentation. We can open it up for questions. There's also a QR code here that will take you directly to the network and newsletter opt-in form. So you're able to jump in and do that right now, so you don't forget.
Awesome. So I know I noted three individuals who had questions. So the first one I had was Aviva. Aviva, I don't know if we ended up answering your question or if you still had one. Um, and I just,
Unmute. Okay, can you hear me?
we can.
Oh, good. Hi. Thank you for doing this. So I'm former federal human resources myself, and this is really interesting that it's quite different than federal. We were
Yes.
not allowed to handhold. We were not allowed to help anybody. My question was, what kind of jobs are we talking about? What kind of staff jobs are there?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we range honestly anything. So, HR, budget and finance, procurement, um, anything research related, business managers, housekeepers, uh, you know, groundskeepers, plumbers, dining
Mhm.
services. I mean,
Okay,
really, honestly, anything
all of that.
you name it. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
It's
great.
the whole spectrum
Yeah,
is yeah. Anything that's not, someone teaching
you're
or a
right.
student. It's
Uh-huh.
it makes anyone that makes that it makes the university run. It falls in our realm. Yep.
And thank you. And I think maybe others have the same question. One more question. Are
Yeah.
you all hiring in your department, in your specific area?
That's a great question. It's funny you asked that because I realized I neglected, even though I told Michelle I would, I failed to introduce and say how many people were on our overall team. So I'll address that as well. So right now our team is fully staffed.
Hmm.
But I do appreciate you asking. But if you end up submitting your information through that QR code, if we
Hmm.
were to have a vacancy, that is where we're going to first look to
Okay.
see if there's any talent that's already expressed interest. But our team currently consists of myself, Michelle, and then our recruiter, whose name is Jasmine, and our solution specialist, Renee. So we are a team of, I always say three and a half because I'm half recruitment and half class and comp.
Hmm.
But yes, so currently fully staffed, but we would love for you to share your information in case, we do end up having an opening, whether it's because we just continue to grow and we receive new staff or God forbid turnover.
Right.
But just know though too is and there's numerous HR opportunities across campus because again, each area is its own operation.
Oh, right.
So there's tons of HR opportunities here, not
Uh,
just within university human resources.
oh,
Yeah,
great. Okay.
yeah,
Thank you.
of course. All right. I'm gonna switch it up here. And I think Richard was next. So I'm gonna bring you over, Richard. And if you just unmute, you are all set to talk.
Hi, how are you? How are you all today?
Great. How are you?
Great, great. Thanks for posting this. I mean, for having this.
Of course. Thank
Um,
you.
I actually, I have this another question all of a sudden. The Q&A form, the Q&A code is partly blocked, at the
Oh,
bottom, so it's not working.
I'll put the Google form link in
in the
the
chat.
chat. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Great
Okay.
catch.
Oh, sure, sure. Now where is the best place to find out about University of Maryland jobs? Is it on the LinkedIn site or directly on umd.edu?
Yeah. So if you just actually type into Google, work at and the ampersand sign at
Hmm.
UMD, that's the best place. But there's got to be is there a chat feature in here? Let's see.
It says Q&A is turned off.
Oh,
I also have it
oh,
linked in the presentation too, so we'll be sending that out. So that has the link
yeah,
to our
post.
UMD career page, and then the Workday site where all of the updated job postings will be.
Okay, great. And my last question, you probably, well, it's probably just wishful thinking, but do alumni get priority as far as being looked at for opportunities?
No,
Okay.
honestly, no, but neither do internal candidates. It
Okay.
really is, it's fully just anyone who applies. It's a completely consistent and fair process. Anyone who meets minimum qualifications is moved forward. And then anyone who meets what we would call preferred qualifications that have been established or moved forward. And then it's based on the interview, in the process that's been outlined. And that's a great
Okay.
question, though. Yeah.
And then my last question, I promise. For campus jobs that you had, obviously it's going to kind of show how long ago you were a student. Um, but I guess any experience is looked at favorably, like campus experience, student, no matter how long ago it was. Um,
So, so ask me that question again.
I think I forgot her name, but she mentioned that campus jobs were looked at previous when you were student, like on
Oh,
campus. But so obviously that's going to show how long ago you were a student. But that's not looked at negatively if were there who knows how long ago. That's not looked at.
it-
Uh,
no, that wouldn't be looked at negatively. You'll find that the majority of positions across campus, they'll actually put on their posting under preferences, higher education experience. And so if you've actually worked, even whether it's as student employment, or not, I would indicate that you have in fact been employed at UMD. I think that
mhm.
is a great thing to advertise, even if it was 10, 15, however many years ago.
Okay.
I think that's a great thing to advertise because it's not just experience as a student, it's experience as an actual employee. Yeah. So I
Right.
think Michelle's absolutely correct. Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you.
And you're right in that for whatever reason, and I'm not a webinar host person, so I do not see how to even open it up to be able to
Oh, the
provide you
Q&A.
the ability to give you this. But if you type in your browser
Hmm.
work at, and it's again the ampersand at UMD, it should bring you to our main page that's for and it will then say like find your next career, and then you'll have boxes, and it will say like if you're essentially like if you're external, current employee, or current student, you'd click the first box, and that has all our job opportunities.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's the first place to look for openings. And then
Um,
it's a little bit more complicated to get to not too complicated, but to get to the form to submit your information. So it'll probably be easier for us just to get you the document a little bit later.
okay, so you're going to be, I guess, emailing that to us, you said?
Yeah, so our
Um,
plan is to get this over to our colleague who set this whole thing up for us, and then
hmm.
for her to send this over to all of the registerees, attendees,
Okay.
whatever word you want to call it. Yeah. But if for some reason too, again, here's our email address if for some reason you
Oh, right.
haven't
UHR
heard.
talent.
Yep,
Okay.
yep,
Thank you
absolutely.
so much.
Mhm. All right. Let me let's go. All right, I think Tiana actually had her hand next. All right, Tiana, you're ready.
Yes. Can you hear me?
I can. Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Just two quick questions. So I'm a PhD candidate at UMD College of Education. Before I moved from where I moved from, my hometown, to pursue to be a full-time student, I worked for almost like 8 years at my alma mater, my undergraduate alma mater. And I did do some supervision. So I'm when you talked about um, kind of this supervisory roles, does it make a difference who you supervise? So I supervise like 14 students. But they weren't, college students and full-grown adults where their brains are fully developed. Maybe two different things for folks. So, do you think it would make a difference in if I'm applying to roles that require or request some level of supervisory experience? Do you think they would look down upon like, oh, those were just students though, like those weren't like career adults and whatnot? Do you think that would make a difference?
That's a great question. So I would say they wouldn't necessarily look down, but it may not necessarily qualify you to meet the minimum requirement for the position. So a good portion of our staff positions, if it requires supervisory experience, it would typically say professional staff.
Got it.
And the reasoning for that is with professional staff, you're handling performance evaluations, leave, you're handling potential grievances. There's a lot of more that comes with managing professional staff than it is with managing students. And
Mm,
we are a union-based environment. And so we do feel like supervising staff versus students or GAs, there is a different level of preparation with that. So, but there are positions that do clarify that it can be students. There are positions that do just say, to lead or supervise or manage, and so that would still count. It really just depends on the position, but I would say they don't look down on it. It's just whether or not
right.
it would qualify you for the particular position.
Okay.
I hope that answers. Yeah.
Yes, yes, it does. Have you, oh, I won't ask too many questions. My
No, you're
second
good.
question is in terms of uploading a resume or a CV, what would you suggest? Like I have a CV. I mean, I can cut it down to make it a resume, but what would be your suggestion?
And what kind of position are you applying to?
It's either staff or the professoriate. I know that like going into like a faculty position, that's a whole nother ball game
Yeah,
that
that's a whole
requires a
nother
lot
one.
more stuff.
Yeah.
But for now, I would be interested in any type of admin, administrative staff positions. Um, yes.
Yeah.
So
So then, yeah. And so then, yeah, for the staff positions, I would say to more so condense it to, like a one-page cover letter, resume. We don't necessarily say it needs to be a certain number of pages, but um, Michelle, what number of pages do you think typically overwhelms beyond three, I would say? What do you say?
Yeah. Usually I would say anything over three, anything over four is definitely really kind of,
mhm.
pushing the limit there. Um, And, if there is a situation where the hiring manager would like to see additional experience or has additional questions, you can always submit that supporting documentation. But I think
Yeah.
really just having that document that's, 3 pages or less that can really highlight where you meet the minimum and preferred qualifications, that is really going to give you the most bang for your buck.
Okay. All right. This was helpful. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. All right, I am going to go to Allison. All right,
Hi.
Allison. Hi.
So, actually, I had the same question. My first question was the same as Richard. So the QR code, yeah, the last two corner boxes are cut off because I had my phone trying to take a picture of the screen. Um, what is your homepage address? To be quite honest, I've never been a fan of QR codes. Not only are they an eyesore, but it's one step too many to get to the same information. So, what
Yes.
would be the web page just so I can one sign up for the newsletter and two just submit my resume to you all?
Yeah, let me actually see if, I'm wondering if I can just share the screen and maybe walk them through where to find it on the webpage, Michelle. What do you think?
Yeah, that works. Let me stop sharing my screen.
All right, perfect. All right. I have too many windows up, so give me just a second, folks. All right, let's try this. All right, so I'm on just a regular URL. And literally, if I just in the Google Doc say work at UMD, you'll notice that in the results comes work at UMD University Human Resources. And I just find that to be the easiest way. I, of course, have it saved in my favorites, but that comes up. And then if I scroll down, you'll see, as I was mentioning, the three different boxes. But as an external candidate, you would click this, and here's all of our job opportunities currently. But if you're on that main page that we were just on, so the work at UMD, if you come up to the for employees and you click this little caret here, and you come to talent acquisition, that's our main web page. And under talent acquisition, some of the resources we have are here. One of the things that Michelle was showing you was our like career prep resources. And so some of that information's you'll find here. But then down at the bottom where it says stay connected with UHR, if you had clicked the QR, taken a picture of the QR code, and you would have been taken immediately to this send request page. And what it is just a Google form, and for you to just enter in your information, and indicate whether or not you want to sign up for our newsletter, indicate if you're open to sending us your resume and letting it be added to our database for future consideration. And then assuming you hit yes, then you would want to attach your resume here, and then it would submit. You'd submit it. And then after you submit it, then it automatically comes over to our side, and then Michelle receives it, and just makes sure that it's coded the way we want to code it, and for us to easier identify it, and for when we have opportunities that we want to consider you for. So work at UMD is really that ticket to get you to where you need to go for any of it. Did that help, Allison?
Oh, can you still hear me?
I can now, yes.
Oh,
Did
okay,
that
thank
help?
you. Oh, sorry, I was waiting for the little mute button to pop up. So my question is, when we submit our resume through this page, do we
Yes.
also need to include in the same document cover letter and three professional references, or no, just resume?
Just resume here, the cover letter and references for what would be for when you're actually applying to a position
Mhm,
on our actual careers page. So when you're actually applying here to
mhm.
an actual vacancy, at that point you would attach those. For the Google form, that's just for us to be able to know what your experiences are so we can help talent match you to opportunities. So for that, don't worry about a cover letter or references.
Got it. Thank you, Amy. Mhm.
You're welcome. All right. I think we have Dorothy here. Hi, Dorothy.
Hello there. Thank you for having today's webinar for us. I have
Yeah.
a question about, I guess, the vetting process, or like when we submit our resume. Um, it used to be that you guys would look for maybe like keywords and stuff, and nowadays maybe like AI is looking for those. I'm just wondering, like, do you guys look at all the resumes like manually, or like I guess just kind of what to expect when we
So
submit
you,
resumes?
yeah, you might need to hold on to something, but our team does not believe in AI scanning resumes. We believe in manual reviews. We believe in manual interviews. We believe in actual personal contact and making connections with people.
Love that.
So it is manual review. There is no computers deciding whether or not to move forward with your resume. It is all us. Uh-huh.
Wow, that's great
Yep.
to hear. I mean,
Yeah. Great question.
yeah. So, but is that across all, like all of campus, or is it just,
Yes.
oh,
Yes.
wow,
Yeah. Great question.
very
Yep.
nice.
That at least is something consistent across all of campus. Yes.
Yes, great.
Timelines, maybe
Thank
not,
you.
but our review, yes.
We appreciate that.
Yeah. All right. It looks like now we have Ariel.
Hi.
Right. Hi.
This is probably very granular in terms of like approaching a resume or a CV in terms of uploading to your resources and also applying for jobs. Uh, Ampersands versus full and versus, I mean, I understand like numbers being like if it's less than 10, write it out. If it's double digits, the number.
Mhm.
What is there like a general sort of perspective on how other types of punctuation and words verbiage gets used?
What I would say, and this has nothing to do with like preference of when we're manually reviewing it, but for the sake of workday
Hmm.
and when you go to apply to the position, you'll first be prompted the first time you're creating your account um, to have it like auto fill from your resume or whatever. And obviously that's the easier one that you would like to just upload your resume and for the information in the application to autofill, right? Because who likes to have to create a resume and then do an application? It's annoying. But
In my experience, you have to correct it
you
anyway.
do, right? It's annoying, but it does work pretty well if you have the words typed out. If you do an ampersand and like you have these crazy fancy bullets and
Hmm.
those kinds of things, it does get a little wonky in Workday. So for the sake of that, I would encourage spelling it out versus
Hmm.
using characters. But, and I don't know your thoughts, Michelle, but other than that, I wouldn't say I necessarily have a preference.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think it's a really good point about uploading into Workday. I know that like you said, with the bullet points, that can
Mhm.
sometimes cause an issue. And a lot of times when you're submitting a resume, you want to submit a PDF. Sometimes uploading a Word document into Workday translates better. So just keep that in mind as well when
Mm.
you're creating your profile. You can always have the Word document and then the PDF.
Very good.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Absolutely. All right, and it looks like Dorothy has her hand up. Dorothy? Hi, Dorothy.
Hi, sorry, I think I just forgot to lower my hand.
Okay. All right, I just didn't want you to feel neglected.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right, so we have 3 more minutes in case anyone else had any questions. Oh, Allison and Richard tied, same time. All right, Allison.
This is a really quick question. I'm just
Yeah.
curious, wherever you're hired, do you get preference as an employee to park closer to the building since the campus is so large, or should you expect to do some walking, which could be a good thing, but extreme weather on both ends?
It depends really on where you work. So like we're at the Chesapeake building and where we get to park is pretty close by. But then, there's some buildings where the closest is just the same garage for multiple buildings. And some buildings happen to be closer to that one garage than others. And it just so happens to be just in proximity to that particular garage. So there really is no particular answer, unfortunately. I think it just depends on what opportunity you end up landing and where it is in proximity to the approved parking. But there's no, I would say there's no preferential treatment necessarily. It's just really by happenstance of what parking lot or what garage is assigned to what building you work in. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's actually a good point, though, is just, when you are extended an offer of employment in any of your positions, if they don't talk to you about parking, whether that's, if it's free parking or where it is, like just make sure you keep that in mind. Because at least for Michelle and I and where we park, we do have to pay for parking. And so definitely keep that in mind when it comes to your overall total compensation and like how it affects your take home pay. So just in advocating for yourself, make sure they cover that with you. Okay. Um, all right. We got Richard again. Richard. Here we go. Um, Here we go. Richard.
Hi, sorry, I just have one last question.
No, you're good.
When applying to specific jobs, do you all prefer the resume and cover letter to be separate, or do you prefer a combined document when applying to specific positions? Yeah.
It can be either. I don't know what your thoughts are, Amy, but really as long as everything is there, that's what
Hmm.
we're looking for. So whatever's easiest for you, I would say go with that.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's kind of a coin toss on that one because um system wise, it might be easier for you to upload it as one. But then I also feel like a lot of times the hiring manager or the people in the department, if they don't see three separate attachments, they just automatically assume you haven't uploaded the three things they want to see. So
Ah,
then there's just
okay.
this assumption before they click on it. Not that necessarily they won't click on it eventually, but does that immediately give them a sense of pause at first?
Hmm.
So I would say, yeah, first stick with whatever's easier for you. But if beyond that, if I had to pick, I would say upload as separate documents. But if it's giving you trouble, then do all in one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, we are 1 past 1. We appreciate everyone again for spending your lunch hour with us. We will go ahead and get this presentation on over to our colleague, and we want to thank you all for your time. We hope to see your resume soon, and hope you all have a great rest of your week. And thank you, Michelle, for being a great co-host. Bye.
Hi,
Thank you all.
everyone. Thank you.